So I'm here with the new champion, Eduardo Nunez. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been a long road.
Thank
You've been in
you.
Mexico,
It's a pleasure.
Tajikistan.
Sure.
How does it feel now that you accomplished your goal?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think you're one of the most exciting fighters in boxing, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
がここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバン手の国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
All right, so better late than never. I wanted to get my thoughts on the fight that took place between Eduardo Nunez, Masanori Rikishi. They fought for the vacant IBF super featherweight title, and this fight had a lot of intrigue to me because Sugar Nunez, for me personally, of like the native Mexican fighters, the fighters from Mexico, he's probably my favorite fighter from Mexico right now in boxing. I mean, knockout artist, brings a lot of excitement, road warrior, fought everywhere, fought Tajikistan, fought Mexico, fought just all over the world, and he was coming to Japan to fight Masanori Rikishi. Rikishi, the brother of Masamichi Yabuki, and he was looking to join the family as the next world champion in the family. He had that really thrilling fight with the Italian, was it Michael Magnesi, I think that was his name. He was down on the cards and got a knockout late in the 12th round. So, just based on everything I knew about both these fighters, I knew it was going to be a really interesting fight. And that's what we got. And I think the fight played out in a way where Sugar Nunez had to show something different to win the title because, my prediction for the fight, I thought Sugar Nunez was going to get Rikishi out of there late. He didn't stop Rikishi. Rikishi came with a good game plan. Rikishi's very tall for a guy at 130, big for a guy at 130 pounds. He had a game plan where he wanted to box on the outside and use his movement, and he was trying to get Nunez to commit as much as possible. And in getting Nunez to commit as much as he possibly could have, he was trying to counter him and run him into something. That's what it looked like. So he was trying to land something big on his own and outbox him while avoiding the big firefight, the big exchanges with Nunez. But why I like this fight so much, because going into the fight, I remember I went live on the channel this day. I was supposed to go to this fight. I wound up not going to this fight because, for better or for worse, for now, Tekken Promotions doesn't like me. So, hey, it is what it is. We keep it pushing. God bless Tekken Promotions. God bless Mr. Honda. God bless Masatoshi Ueno. True School Sports, the home of Japanese boxing, loves you guys. But anyway, nonetheless, I remember a lot of people on my live that day were telling me that they felt that Eduardo Sugar Nunez was very similar to Subriel Matias, and they were saying this in a negative context where, because Matias, all of his wins damn near were by knockout, and then when he fought an experienced, clever southpaw boxer Liam Paro, he lost that fight, and people thought the history was going to repeat itself, and they thought that Nunez was like Matias, but no. In this fight on this night, Eduardo Sugar Nunez showed you guys that while he's not going to get confused with Julio Cesar Chavez, he's got other things in his toolbox. He was doing a great job in this fight of cutting the ring off on Masanori Rikishi. He maintained defensive responsibility, and he was able to make Rikishi feel his strength early and often in this fight, and that was the difference. That was the true difference in the fight. Rikishi could not consistently back up Eduardo Sugar Nunez. Nunez was doing a great job of cutting the ring off, because when you cut the ring off, you don't want to follow the fighter in a straight line. You want to take short steps to the side and just cut off those exit routes for the mover, and that's what he was doing a lot. And I was impressed. I was really impressed with Nunez because it's very difficult to beat Japanese fighters on home soil for a world title. I've seen very few fighters do it. Not only did he come here and do it, but he did it in a style where people didn't think he could do that. I know Angelo Leo did that with Kameda, but Angelo can box a little bit. He's shown, I think, in his boxing career a little bit more boxing ability than Nunez. He's won all his fights by knockout. People were not thinking that Nunez had it in his skill set, in his toolbox, to actually go out, cut the ring off, and power box behind the jab with Masanori Rikishi. So I think I actually leave the fight more impressed by Nunez, And I'm so happy for him because this is a guy that deserves to be champion. First and foremost, he knocks people out. He's fun to watch, so he ticks that box. A lot of fighters did not want to fight him. Anthony Kakachi did not want to fight him. A lot of fighters, just continuously avoided Eduardo Sugar Nunez. So he's teetering on that label of having the boogeyman label slapped on him. I don't like saying that fighter's a boogeyman, but I've seen too much with him in his career. Guys pulling out of purse bids, eliminators, mandatory title fights, and he's been left out to dry. He's had to go to Tajikistan. He's had to go to Japan, and all over the world to become a world champion. So I respect him a lot, and I respect the fashion in which he won this fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing what could be next in his career, because when you take a look at the super featherweight division right now, right now it's interesting because you got Stephen Folan, who's going to fight Oshaki Foss for the WBC title. They just announced that for the Tank undercard. You got Lamont Roach, who's fighting Gervonta Davis in the next weight class at 135. I don't anticipate that he'll be a champion. He'll vacate that belt very soon because the WBA will force him to. And then Vaquero Navarrete, he's been probably the guy in this weight class for a little bit of time now, and he was about to get his ass whooped by Charlie Suarez, and there was some bad ruling that was made, and that fight was controversially ruled to a no contest. So the WBO has done right. They've ordered an immediate rematch, and I'm happy about that, because Charlie Suarez deserves his shot, and he deserves another good payday, and he deserves the chance to right that wrong in his career. So I'm not really sure what could be the big fight for Nunez as far as the champions are concerned. All the champions seem to be busy and on their own different type of path right now. I know that, and it's funny because this guy, I feel like I talk about him a lot. Raymond Ford, he's been very vocal about fighting Eduardo Sugar Nunez, and a lot of power goes Raymond Ford because, Ford, I think his performances at 130 have been a mixed, for me, they've been a mixed bag. I thought he looked very good against Orlando Cabo Gonzalez. I thought he looked good against Thomas Matisse too, but I wanted to see another gear from him and for him to stop Matisse, and he didn't do that. But either way, he hasn't had really a hard fight at 130. He looks about a level better at 130 than he was at featherweight. So one thing about Ford, he's one of these guys. He's got an inspirational personality. He likes to fight up and down to his level of competition. I remember I've seen this movie before because I remember being a big part of the build-up for the Komatov fight. You get a guy that is ducked and avoided by a lot of guys in the weight class, has kind of the boogeyman moniker thrusted upon him, and then good old Raymond Ford goes in there and he fights him to the best visibilities and gives you guys a great fight. So I'm thinking that the fight is going to wind up being Sugar Nunez versus Ford. Eddie Hearn was in Japan for the fight. I actually did run into Eddie Hearn at the hotel the day of the fight. So I know that's a fight that he's interested in making. In fact, to be honest with you, the only time I've really ever heard Eddie Hearn talk about Eduardo Sugar Nunez is when it comes to Raymond Ford. So I think it's a fight that really interests Matchroom. I think that's the kind of fight that could actually bring out the best of Raymond Ford because, based on history, Raymond Ford will have some letdowns, will have some okay performances, some slightly above average performances against guys he's expected to beat. But it's when you put those guys in front of Raymond Ford that people think are killers or scary fighters, that's when you're going to get the Raymond Ford that's really switched on and fighting in the pocket and showing you the skill set he does got. So, I'm looking forward to probably that fight. That's the fight I think is going to happen. I don't think there's any reason for me to expect, judging by the current landscape, Sugar Nunez versus anybody else, and I think it's a dynamite fight for boxing. You got Ford, who has shown the ability to fight in the pocket, but also he's known for his boxing skills. He's a former national Golden Gloves champion, so they don't just give those out. You got to know how to box and have IQ and know how to adjust. Sugar Nunez is a knockout artist that showed that he could cut the ring off, and I think he's going to draw a lot of experience from doing that in Japan on foreign soil to become a champion. So to me right now, for me, 130 is a bit dead, in my opinion, just because there's not unifications happening. To me right now, this is probably the fight to make at 130, and I'm looking very forward to it happening. But yeah, nonetheless, respect goes to Eduardo Sugar Nunez, probably my favorite Mexican fighter and boxer right now, and I look forward to what I think is going to be an amazing fight with him and Raymond Ford. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What did you guys think of the fight between him and Masanori Rikishi, and how do you guys think he will fare against the likes of Raymond Ford? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, and we got a monster in town. For more great boxing content from America to Japan and everywhere else in between, make sure you guys subscribe, stay tuned, and keep it locked.